This one is creating quite a controversy, so I thought I'd share it with you. So if a pastor is taking one verse as the topic of his sermon, he's most likely making more of an attempt to focus on the point in that Bible passage than the Bible itself is. The standard for expository preaching is that the point of the sermon should be the same as the point of the passage, not just a fragment, but the whole passage. Now, in most cases, it's actually arrogant for a pastor to spend 1 minute reading God's word, or less, maybe 15 seconds reading a passage from God's word to his congregation, and then spending 49 minutes of his own thoughts and the context and the explanation, the application. So I have to ask pastors, do you really believe that every 1 or 2 or 3 verses in the entire New Testament is packed with so much context and is so hard to understand that your people need you to say everything that you can think to say about that one passage for 50 minutes, week after week? That is the common practice these days, and it's questionable. My friend Jacob Brunton pointed out there are some, not many passages where each verse might warrant a full sermon, but that would typically be to unpack and educate regarding important historical controversies over a passage. Moses gave Deuteronomy essentially as a single sermon in a single event. The problem with taking a verse or two for 50 minutes is not that you're going to go too deep, it's that you're going to go too much into your own opinions. The problem is you are going to fail to include as much distinct conceptual material as is suitable for people to hear and to form an integrated view. You often end up smuggling in foreign conceptual material as a result. That's what Jacob pointed out. Consider the book of Hebrews or many of the epistles. They are effectively sermons. The Sermon on the Mount, 3 chapters, is a sermon. Jesus thought that people could and should absorb the material of those 3 entire chapters in one presentation. But pastors come along and they think that they should spend 50 minutes on just 1 or 2 verses or half of a paragraph. This shouldn't be the norm. I'm not saying that we never should do it. There goes my girl. So I'm not saying we should never take a single verse. I'm saying, why is this the norm? Is that really wise?